The Galactic Council had called Ryan reckless more times than he could count. Maya, his partner in the interstellar peacekeeping force, simply called him predictably insane. But when the veteran soldier found a young draken, a dragon-like alien species, abandoned in the ruins of Colony 7, even Maya had to admit this was a new level of crazy. The creature was no bigger than a human teenager, covered in crimson scales that shimmered like molten metal. His wings were torn, his eyes feral with distrust. The draken were known across the galaxy as apex predators, beings of pure instinct and flame. No one had ever successfully domesticated one, let alone raised one as a child. "You can't be serious," Maya said, watching Ryan approach the hissing creature with nothing but a ration bar extended in his calloused hand. "Dead serious," Ryan replied, his voice carrying that particular tone of stubborn determination she'd learned to recognize over 5 years of combat missions together. The draken swiped at him, claws leaving shallow cuts across Ryan's forearm. He didn't flinch. Instead, he sat down on the rubble and waited. Maya watched, her hand hovering over her plasma pistol as the minutes stretched into an hour. Finally, hunger won over pride and the young draken snatched the food. "I'm naming him Ash," Ryan announced. Maya sighed. "You do realize this thing will grow to be 3 times your size and can breathe fire hot enough to melt steel, right?" "Perfect," Ryan said with a grin. "He'll fit right in." 3 months later, aboard the human frigate Perseverance, Ash had become something of a controversial mascot. The Draken child had grown considerably, now standing at Ryan's shoulder height, his wings fully healed and capable of short flights through the cargo bay. But his behavior was not problematic. Ash destroyed equipment when bored. He hoarded supplies in his makeshift nest. He challenged any crew member who looked at him wrong, baring rows of razor-sharp teeth. The other species aboard the ship, Centauri engineers, Quiloth navigators, even the stoic Vrex security officers, gave the dragon a wide berth. "He's out of control," Captain Martinez told Ryan during a disciplinary meeting. Maya sat beside Ryan, her expression carefully neutral. "Either you get that creature under control or he's getting dropped at the nearest xenobiological research station." Ryan's jaw tightened. "Give me 2 weeks. That evening, Ryan began what Maya would later describe as the most human thing I've ever witnessed. He started with structure. Every morning at 600 hours, Ash was expected in the cargo bay for training. The draken naturally resisted, roaring, clawing, even attempting to set Ryan's boots on fire. Ryan simply waited, arms crossed, until the tantrum subsided. "Discipline isn't about dominance," Ryan explained to Maya as she watched from the observation deck. "It's about teaching someone to master themselves." He taught Ash to channel his fire breathing into controlled bursts. He trained the dragon to fly obstacle courses that required precision rather than raw power. When Ash grew frustrated and lashed out, Ryan didn't retaliate or retreat. He remained present, calm, and consistent. "Among humans," Ryan told the young draken one evening as they sat together in the cargo bay, "we have a saying, with great power comes great responsibility. You're strong. Ash may be the strongest being on this ship. But strength without control is just destruction." Ash tilted his massive head, amber eyes reflecting the dim lighting. For the first time, he didn't snarl or snap. He listened. The breakthrough came during a pirate raid. The Perseverance was ambushed near the Kepler belt by a fleet of marauder ships, outlaws who preyed on civilian transports. The human frigate was outgunned, its shields failing under concentrated plasma fire. In the chaos, Ash broke free from his secured quarters. Maya spotted him first, heading toward the breach in the hull where enemy boarding pods had attached. "Ryan," she shouted over the comm, "your dragon's loose." They found Ash in Corridor B7, facing down 6 heavily armed marauder raiders. The pirates laughed at the sight of a single draken blocking their path. They had no idea what human training had forged. Ash didn't attack wildly. He moved with calculated precision, using his wings to generate wind that threw off the raiders' aim. His fire came in controlled jets that melted weapons without killing, exactly as Ryan had taught him. When one raider tried to flank him, Ash used his tail to sweep the attacker's legs, then pinned him with one clawed foot. By the time Ryan and Maya arrived with backup, Ash had neutralized all 6 threats without a single casualty. Ryan approached slowly, meeting his ward's eyes. "Good job, son." Ash lowered his head, allowing Ryan to place a hand on his scaled snout. a gesture of trust that made even the hardened Marines witnessing it fall silent. Captain Martinez reinstated Ash as an official crew member the following week, with the designation Combat Specialist Unconventional Warfare. The Draken wore his new rank, badge specially modified to clip onto his collar of scales with visible pride. Maya found Ryan in the observation lounge one evening, watching Ash practice aerial maneuvers outside the ship through the viewport. "You did the impossible," she said, handing him a cup of coffee. "The galaxy said Draken couldn't be reasoned with, couldn't be civilized." Ryan shook his head. "They're not wrong about Draken in general, but Ash isn't just a Draken anymore. He's something new, wild instinct tempered by human discipline. Maybe that's what he needed. Maybe that's what we all need sometimes." "And what's that?" Maya asked. "Someone who refuses to give up on us," Ryan said simply. "Someone who sees what we could become, not just what we are." Below them, Ash executed a perfect barrel roll, his wings catching starlight like crimson sails. In the cargo bay later that night, he'd return to his nest and carefully place his rank badge among his treasured possessions, right next to the wrapper from that first ration bar Ryan had offered him in the ruins. A wild dragon had learned discipline. But more importantly, he'd learned he was worth the effort. And that, Maya realized, was the most human lesson of all. The end.